Welcome back to AFL from LA Tips. Who loses and why for round 17. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Hi, Cindye. I'm great. It feels like I haven't seen you for a month.
Yeah, we took a week off last week, didn't we?
Yeah. But a week feels like a month these days in football.
It does. It was much needed. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It's football stuff. It's too much.
It is a lot.
Yeah, but we have a lot to talk about though, because we haven't seen each other in a while. So let's jump right into the most important element of this conversation, which is the tally. So once again, you and I, we were even this week because I picked one wrong and you picked one wrong, and there we have it. So I think who did I pick now? I can't remember. I remember now. You for some reason picked Carlton to win over Port. I don't know how that happened.
That was a mistake. In
fact, everybody was like, "What?" Everybody in the comments was like, "What happened?"
Yeah, it was a mistake. No, you got it all wrong. It was a mistake.
Yeah. And then
Hang
I
on.
think, yeah,
go. Sorry, continue.
But then I picked Swans to win. No, you
might
too.
have. Me?
Damn, I can't remember now. No, you did, because like even Ricky was like, "What? He picked the Swans," but was it this week?
No, Ricky's. No.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure I picked the Bulldogs.
Oh yeah. No, that was the week before. Okay. You had Carlton. These are your winners: Carlton, Bulldogs, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, Collingwood, Adelaide, and Freo. And I had
close.
Almost all of that, except who did the Bulldogs play?
Sydney.
Oh yeah, I picked Sydney. Okay, that's
of course you
sense.
did.
Okay. So anyway, back to what we were.
But what about the week before? I reckon I got about 3 on you the week before.
No, it ended up being even again. I'll send you this.
There's something wrong.
I'll send you the spreadsheet.
No.
Yeah.
There's something wrong.
No, I'll send you the spreadsheet. It's getting more and more colorful by the minute. I have like colors for like which week each one, because like I think I've won 8 weeks and you've won 5 weeks, something like that. So
all right. Have you come up with my punishment yet? Is it the?
I thought we had it. It's like you're going to be decked out in Giants gear, but whether or not you go to Icon Park or not in that gear,
that could be a bit dicey at the moment.
I know you're going to be like Australia's most wanted or Carlton's most wanted.
Bring it on! Bring it on, Icon Park.
In trouble. Were you? Where were? I'm going to say it like you. Where were you the night that the building got spray painted?
I was.
Do you have an alibi?
Yeah. I was recording my club corner. So
do we have a timestamp? Can we prove this?
Do you honestly think I'd waste spray paint on that club?
Nah, I don't think you would. All right.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get to the show. But 89 to 83, just in case I didn't say that, is our tally. All right, Thursday night, North Melbourne versus Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium, 7:30 p.m. So the Hawks belted the Roos. Belted them. 85 points, right? 85 points? Yeah.
Yep.
So, they were smashed at the contest, and they were swamped in defense. Game over moment. Hawthorn won clearance after clearance, right?
Absolutely.
Now the Dogs, on the other hand, they just slipped by Sydney. That was 105 to 96. So they managed to convert, and Sydney did not. Now let's talk about injuries. Wardlaw had a concussion, right? Or he's out in concussion protocol.
Yes.
Luke McDonald, I believe, had a shoulder injury. And they're both going to be out this week. Have you heard otherwise?
No, they're pretty much ruled out. Jack Darling's been ruled out also.
No. Oh, my little JD. What about Combin? Is he back?
Touch and go. He's got a broken collarbone, as far as I know.
Oh, my God.
He looked pretty bad against Carlton, so
he shouldn't have
very
played
unlikely.
that week, huh?
I agree, but they got the win, so I guess.
So it was all worth it in the end.
Well, they're not going to win many games, so it's a winner game. Yeah.
All right. So now Treloar, he is probably out for the rest of the year. I saw something that suggested he might be back for like round 23, but that doesn't make any sense. So
no.
All right, so those are the injuries that I know of. So how significant is Combin playing or not to North's chances against the Bulldogs?
When you're a bottom side, when one of your better players are out, it always makes a difference. They're almost amplified in the bottom side, the better players.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'd make a difference either way this week, to be quite honest.
Really, no. All right. So, as I mentioned, Wardlaw's out. Treloar's missing for the Dogs. So which team is better equipped to win clearances and control the midfield on Thursday night?
That's actually interesting because North are equipped, but they don't always show it.
Right.
But, geez, it's hard to go past, Libba, Bont and Ed Richards for clearances. Like, that's a tough one. But North are equipped, but...
Yeah. How should Clarkson structure North's back six to limit Naughton and Darcy? And do they actually have the personnel to make it work?
They don't have the personnel, and he should have 8 playing back, not 6. That might help.
Okay.
Because either way, the ball's getting in.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
All right. So, who loses and why?
North Melbourne get walloped. Which is a shame because it's their 100th year anniversary, so all the legends are going to be there at the club, so it's a shame.
Well, yeah, they're in, not only are they in tipping jail, they're in like solitary confinement.
Confinement, yeah.
Right? They're just no outside time, no working out in the yard.
No.
Do you guys have it? Is it the same like that in Australia? Like the same stereotypes of like jails over there?
Well, even if it isn't, we watch American TV anyway, so we get, in the hole and the box and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so midfield firepower swings to the Dogs, territory dominance, Bulldogs calling card, key position mismatches, and experience and polished slate. So Doggies are going to run away with it. So,
geez, when you put it that way, it's going to be hiding. It sounds like,
Game 2 of round 17 is you ready for this one? Carlton versus Collingwood at the MCG. So, this is an away game for Collingwood in case anyone's keeping track. They had to travel all the way across town to Marvel last week, and now poor things, they got to go all the way to the MCG this week. So,
hope there's no traffic.
So, the Blues imploded in Adelaide. I think that's the right word, right? They imploded 60-110. They didn't kick a goal into time on in the second quarter. Shocking, right? Oh, are we not speaking? Are you just nodding? Are you okay? Do I need to call for help?
I'm okay. I don't want to waste my words on this poor club.
Wow. It was a shocker. It really was. Now, on the other hand, the Eagles, my West Coast Eagles, they pushed Collingwood for the first half, and then they fell away. They were even ahead at halftime. Nobody had that on their bingo card, for sure.
No one.
But Collingwood had a 5-goal third term, and that opened the game up. So
that was that.
So that was that. So, Andy, I already brought this up, but I have to ask again. I mean, after that tirade before round 16, I mean, you went off, and then for some reason, you tipped Carlton to beat Port. What happened? What happened to you?
Oh, my tipping thing?
Yeah, what happened?
Because when an inept, delusional pack of peahearts take the field, and the captain wants to spruik himself, saying you'll see a different, I won't say the club's name, you'll see a different against Port Adelaide. I got sucked in. Never again.
Didn't you?
I will never tip these Muppets again in 2025 anyway. Never again 2025.
They're in tipping jail in space.
Tipping jail?
They've been sent to plan to other galaxies, I think, for you.
What's that movie, Muppets in Space? That's what they are.
That's it. Oh, my God. Oh my God!
Pack of Muppets.
Honestly, everybody was like doing spit takes when I said that that you tipped Port to lose. So
no, they can get stuffed. No more.
Okay, so here's a hypothetical for you: if the Blues beat Collingwood this week, how won't Carlton fans react?
I think there'll be more graffiti on the walls.
Oh, really?
Well,
what would they possibly say this week?
Get stuffed.
Get stuffed.
Where was this all year? Really? Round 17, you come and decide to play, do you? Nah.
All right.
Doesn't cut it for me.
Now, West Coast opening 2 quarters were genuinely punch for punch with the latter leaders, okay? They tied at the half. They dominated territory and pressure. They upped their handball and kick ratio to shift the pie zone and forced turnovers. Even McRae said they've been really competitive, and we know that was going to be the case. So I'm giving you an opportunity to reverse the nonsense that you said on your show the other night about Collingwood was just bored.
I won't be reversing. People, you need to understand. When a top side plays a bottom side, they just don't even want to be there. Come on.
Andrew.
It was a fact.
So
first half, they were behind.
So, right.
And then they said, all right, come on. Let's get this over and done with.
Because the Eagles' pressure made them have to change their tactics in the second half. Even the coach.
Okay.
Even the coach admitted that.
Okay.
I gave you an out.
No, I don't need an out. I stick to what I say. The coach needs to say that just to be nice,
So let me ask you this question. It's a very important question.
But I will give West Coast some credit because they showed some heart, which is important.
They did. Yeah,
I'll give them that.
And we'll talk more about them afterwards.
Okay,
Ask some more questions. But here's my really important question to you.
Okay.
So when you're playing footy, what do you usually do when you get bored on the field?
Kick goals.
Oh, Andrew. All right. What?
No, Collingwood are bored.
What number is your Guernsey?
Believe it or not, I wore 29.
29. Is there any particular reason?
No reason. And they were actually Essendon jumpers. So I think it was Alwyn Davey wore 29.
Okay.
So, yeah, I wore 29.
Does anyone special play 29 now? I mean, wear 29 now? I can't picture anyone wearing 29.
Pavlich played a lot of games for Freo in 29.
Oh,
but
really?
I also, as a kid, I wore 4 a lot, 4 and 15, like in my basketball days.
Right.
So they're my numbers, but 29, I just...
I always had, I used to play softball, and I always had to have a multiple of 3. So it was either 3, 6, or 9.
Really?
So I think 3 and 9 were like predominantly the numbers
That's
that
interesting.
I would always pick. Yeah. So anyway, fun fact about Cindye and Andy here. All right. So, Andrew.
Yes.
The Blues have 19 players coming out of contract at the end of the season. Which 3 do you keep and which 3 do you cut?
3? No. All 19 can go. No, they can all go. No interest. I don't care who they are. Get out.
Right.
Start again. I've said it for months.
Get out.
Start again. I don't want 3 to stay. I don't want 3
What about Nick Haynes? Would you keep him at this point?
Is he out of contract?
He is. He only got signed for 1 year.
Get out.
Get out.
If you're out of contract, get out. That's it.
Anyway, who loses and why?
Collingwood win. How's that?
I'm
not saying the other team's name, all right?
I like it, and I agree. Carlton lose. Collingwood have the best back line. They lay more tackles. Their forward line is lethal. I mean, can I go on? I mean, should I go on? Do I need to go on? That's really what I want to say.
Hey, just quickly, have you seen Charlie Curnow in LA?
No, why? Is he here?
Oh, I haven't seen him for a long time. I don't know if he's missing or...
Missing person?
I'm curious. Yeah,
no,
well...
he's not here.
No, he's not? Okay.
Charlie...
Keep an eye out, because he might be there.
He's definitely not here, literally.
No,
here.
But he might be in LA because he's not on the football ground.
All righty, we're moving on to... All right, now this game, let me just tell you about this game. This game has to be watched at 2 different times in my household. This game will not be viewed with anyone in the room. This is Friday, the 4th of July, Independence Day for us. It's the West Coast Eagles versus the Greater Western Sydney Giants.
Oh, is it?
And
okay.
This is like where the rubber meets the road in this household because I am cheering for the Giants. I know Eagles people. I know I'm awful, but again, they have no chance. They cannot play finals.
We've had this discussion before. In Australian rules football, you choose a team and you stick by that team, thick or thin. Right? Win, lose, draw, debacle, rabble, whatever it is, you stick by a team. You can admire other teams,
but
you cannot chop and choose.
Well,
which one is it?
I've chopped
I'm going to make you choose today.
I chose, but
so you're a GWS Giants.
I'm going
supporter.
for the team that can make it to the finals. So I am cheering for GWS this weekend. However, I will be delighted if the Eagles play well. So the West Coast Eagles pushed the Pies before fading late, as we mentioned earlier, and the Giants had a bye. So, Andrew, other than Harley Reid, which of the young players for the Eagles are you most excited for?
Elijah Hewitt.
Elijah Hewitt, yeah?
Fantastic.
That's a good choice. How about Tom McCarthy?
He looks good, but I need to see more because he's just come in, no one's taken notice of him, and he's getting 30 touches a game. Yeah. So when they start to take notice and not tag him, but show him some respect, we'll see how he is. But he looks okay.
Yeah. Because he had 29 disposals, 6 score involvements, 22 kicks, 31 disposals the previous week. So far he's tracking well, but I think you're right. We'll see what happens when they start to pay a little bit more attention to him. Now, what about my boy Brady Hoff? Highest rated on the ground. Right?
Did well.
Yeah. 27 disposals at 100% efficiency. And I believe this is the second game in the last few weeks that he was at 100% efficiency. Pretty impressive. 7 score involvements and a goal. Yeah.
No, he played well. He played on Dacos for most of the game, which is Nick. So, and he had a good game. They both had good games.
Yeah, he actually, I believe, he used to play in the back, and they moved him. Him up. So he's been doing really well. He's a great player. So, who loses and why?
West Coast lose.
Okay.
They're just not equipped enough.
Okay.
And GWS, they need to win for their finals chances. They aren't letting this one slip. It helps that they had the week off so they can probably travel a day or two earlier just to get acclimatised and just, which is silly. Like, I know it's a long flight from Sydney to Perth, but still, the extra day might help them. So I think GWS win and West Coast lose. Sorry.
All right. Well, I agree with you. I think West Coast lose. Although I will say, if they show up the way, with how flaky the Giants have been, and how great the Eagles have been performing and improving like week after week, they could give the Giants a run for their money. They could do it. I think they're gonna bring the pressure, and we'll just see if the Giants can respond. What's his name? Minnie is teaching them to play the same style of football as the Giants, right? It's like fast and chaotic. But the Giants have been doing it longer, and they're a little more star-studded. So I think the Giants are going to take care of business, and Eagles are losing.
Just on that, the Eagles will get smashed. The Giants won't be bored this week.
They won't be
Collingwood were bored. Yeah, Collingwood were bored.
So
Giants won't be bored.
What's the margin?
40 plus.
40 plus. All right. Well, that would be interesting on the. Why does it keep doing that? That would be interesting on the old ladder, because they could use some points. They could definitely use some points.
Hence why they won't be bored. They need to win and win well.
You know what's interesting, though, about the Giants this week? I was watching Kinger's press conference, and so Kieran Briggs is probably ready to play. But the Madden,
he's playing very well, the young
he's
kid.
playing really, yeah. So he was asked, like, would you be willing to keep Madden over Briggs? And he said, it's on the table.
Maybe.
So
So it should be.
Yeah. So it'll be really interesting to see, or whether they put them both on the team to have that kind of option. So I don't know.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. Anyway. Moving on to Saturday, July 5th, Essendon. I didn't say, by the way, that the game is in Optus. I think we said going over. We talked about it with the Eagles play the Giants at Optus. Okay. So Saturday is going to be Essendon versus Gold Coast at Marvel Stadium at 12:35 in the afternoon. So last week, Essendon had a bye, and the Suns... So they blew the game open with a 36-point lead in the first term. And then Melbourne just stormed back in the end, but they just couldn't get it done. A lot of missed opportunities. They ended up losing by, 19 points, I believe,
19 points,
right?
Yep.
And your boy Melsham was...
he was good, wasn't he?
What did he had one behind after another, right?
I was going to say, he kicked 4 in a row or so. He just couldn't kick a goal.
Yeah.
He kept getting cramp, and it's like he's missing these goals. He's generally a good kicker goal, and geez, if he kicked those, it would have made it interesting.
He had his opportunity, but
they
just couldn't get it done. So that's 2 straight games in a row for Gold Coast where they've controlled the first 3 quarters, and then they leaked a bag in the fourth. Mm-hmm. So do these back-to-back fade-outs say more about their fitness, their mindset, something in Hardwick's game plan?
I think it's more about mindset. I don't think it's about fitness, because I've seen them run out games before, and Took Miller's one of the fittest players. Noah Anderson's one of the fittest players. Matt Rowell is fit as a fiddle.
Yeah.
I think it's just mindset. I think it's just... because they're a young team, so it's we've got a lead, and just naturally you just sort of try and protect it or calm down a bit.
Yeah.
They don't go 100 miles an hour, which in football you sort of need to, or you need to try to go 100 miles an hour for 4 quarters, And if you don't, any team can just go on a run and create some problems for you, which Melbourne did, as you saw. So, I reckon it's more mindset than anything, to be honest.
So what's the one thing Essendon absolutely must do if they want to beat the Suns this week?
I think they need to win clearances. I think just deny Gold Coast the ball. That's it. I think, their backline's decimated. So, having King and these guys down forward, getting the ball to them 60 times isn't going to help. So deny. So you might see a bit of that slow chip kick, by Essendon, and just control type of game, which makes for a boring game. But anyway, look, they'll try and do that.
Yeah. Do they have the personnel to in the center to match the Suns?
Look, Darcy Parish is out again, injured, which is unfortunate. I like Caldwell and Hobbs and these guys, but geez, the Suns, they're elite in that midfield, so I don't think so. And I'd love to see Zach Merritt play on the ball this week and not at half back. Enough's enough.
Okay, because they put him back there, right, to kind of help out the situation.
Yeah, and I get the sentiment, but get the ball in his hands going forward, and different things can happen.
Who loses and why?
Essendon lose just because, again, their injury list is just growing by the week.
Right.
It's actually, I've never seen anything like it before.
Okay.
It's horrendous. And
how about West Coast Eagles in 2020?
I was just about to say that was more a COVID thing, because I don't know if that's an injury thing. COVID, they had 20 players out and had to get players from the waffle. That was actually pretty funny,
right?
They were debuting 2 or 3 players every week. It was hilarious.
God, it was so painful. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's tough to watch. But anyway. Yeah, Gold Coast can't drop this one. They can't. If they drop this, I said it in our show yesterday, get out. Get out of the competition. You're going to drop this, seriously.
Well, I'm agreeing with you. Essendon are going to lose. Gold Coast brings the stronger inside game, a healthier list, and a forward line that punishes turnovers. So I don't think we've disagreed on anything yet, have we?
No. So you're going first on the next one. I don't know what the game is, but you're going first, all right?
All right. Oh, this one we're totally going to disagree on.
Good. So you can go first then.
All right. So Geelong versus Richmond. Just kidding.
Really? We're going different on this one? Bloody hell.
No, we're not. I know. It's just being funny. All right. They're playing at GMHBA at 4:15 on Saturday. So the Cats are nice and rested. They had a nice little cat nap. And the Tigers were demolished by Adelaide. I mean, 122-54. Oh, so painful. Is it me? Or was like all the early enthusiasm about the Tigers, like have they been slowly sliding downhill? Like for a little while we were like, oh, look how great they are. And then I feel like each week it's sort of that's getting chipped away a little bit more and more and more. Yeah?
Yeah, I think you're right. It happens with young teams and they just get tired. And they, again, like I was saying, 100% of the time you need to play football.
Yeah.
They don't know that yet. They're not capable of it yet. Just their bodies. Like there's a lot of kids, and Sam Layla's out. He's not playing. He's one of their better young players, and Noel Bolter plays every second week. We won't get onto that.
Yeah. Well, but even like the midfield, like Prestia and
Taranto and Hopper, they all look tired, don't they?
Yeah, they were having maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. They were like, oh, they look pretty good.
Really good.
They all came back, or Prestia came back, and are like, oh, they look pretty good, and then all of a sudden it's just like every week they seem to be.
Yeah. I think the novelty wears off pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like Prestia came back, and I think they either won or got really close. I think they might have been in Sydney that day, or just lost to Sydney. It was about 4 weeks ago, and and then you lose a game, you lose another one easily, and the novelty wears off, and you just, especially for the older players too, right? The guys that have played in premierships and they've been there for 10 years, it's like it gets tiring for them, not just the kids, but look, we all know where they're at. I think I think this is a stepping stone to next year and the year after for them.
And it was also disappointing. What's his name? He's a new player.
Lafau, McKelty Lafau. So so he came back from an ACL and went off with a calf, which is good news because everyone thought, don't tell me he's done his knee again,
Yeah.
So calf, it's probably the strain of AFL football, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's when he's, and I like him as a player, but when he's your, second forward, you're doing it a bit hard,
So what changes do you expect Chris Scott to make for the Cats after last week's punishment, or not last week, the week before against the Lions, or are we just chalking that up to like a bad week? Like, is something have to change, or
No, nothing has to change.
Nothing has to change.
They lost to Brisbane, who are reigning premiers.
No, but they lost badly to Brisbane.
Absolutely. But all the good teams do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they need to do anything different. I don't think they need any personnel changes, and they'll be Geelong this week.
All right. So who loses and why?
Richmond lose by 100 points plus.
Oh my God, 100 points plus?
Yeah, Geelong. Their last game they lost against Brisbane was at home.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was an embarrassing loss for Dangerfield's 350th. So, they're coming out firing this week. Not they need to prove anything, but just more for themselves to.
Yeah.
So I can see one of those Geelong 100-point plus wins.
So we didn't get to talk because last week, as we said, we weren't here.
Yes,
we didn't do the show.
didn't.
But what was the whole thing with the white shirts? Like why people were making fun of it at the end? Like, what was the problem with the white shirts in the end?
I have no idea because people were stupid because the guys play 350 games, which is very rare.
Yeah.
Everyone got a white T-shirt on their chair like they do in the NBA generally, right, in finals times or a special night in the NBA.
Okay.
And all of a sudden they're making fun of it and what's the big deal?
I don't understand what the big deal was. I was like, what did I miss? Okay, so I didn't miss anything. It's just some silly nonsense.
Some silly people that just, again, we're 100 years behind here. They can't see any progress. They can't see a bit of fun, in a game of football.
So I have another question for you, and if not you, to everyone out there. So you said
no one else here.
You're saying Richmond, well, the people that are hopefully watching
the people
this on
on YouTube.
Yes. Yep. Oh, you didn't know I have a crowd of people here.
No, I thought we're just having
Ricky's here, and all kinds of people are here.
Is he really there? Is he really there?
Yeah.
Really?
Could you imagine? I'd be like, surprise! He's just some guy good to come in.
I'll just cut off the stream. Gone.
No. You're predicting Richmond lose by 100 points. So
yep.
And there have been some beltings this year. I mean, we just mentioned the 85 points that the Hawks won by. But what's the largest in like modern times? Like, what's the largest loss? What margin since the AFL started?
Oh, geez. Geelong beat Melbourne by about 160 something points.
When was that?
It was about early 2000s.
Oh, so really recently?
Yeah, like 20 years ago or so. And they kick like they kick.
Oh, you said the early 2000s. You said that, and I was thinking like, my brain's broken. I was thinking you meant like 2020s. Yeah,
2020. No. Yeah. So about 20 years ago. It doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
I think coaches are getting smarter and resting players. Like,
okay.
Again, it's there's certain teams that need to do it, but need percentage and see the reason to keep going, and there's other teams that don't need to. They don't need to prove anything, and sometimes it just happens. It just becomes too easy, and the other team almost gives up, But it doesn't happen as often as you'd imagine,
Okay, well, I want to know from you guys out there what the biggest margin difference were, what games, what year, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So I agree with Andrew that Richmond are going to lose. I don't know if it's going to be 100 points, but
we should actually, with this game, we should actually just go by margin. And then whoever's closer gets a tip, I reckon. Because this is Geelong are winning, we know that.
Okay, all right.
What do you reckon? All right, go.
Why not?
You go first.
Okay, let me think. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, well, they lost. All right, I'm going to say 65 points.
Okay.
He said 100. You said 100.
Yeah, I said 100. Okay, I'll say 85. How's that?
All right. 60. So is it anything over 65? Is it like the Price is Right? Is it?
Yeah. Let's do Price is Right rules.
Okay.
Yes, you have to be under 65.
Okay, and you have to be 66 to 85.
Yes.
But if you go over, does it matter?
If I go over,
I don't know.
You've got 65 points to play with. I've got 165.
You've got infinity.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, okay.
That's true.
Is that fair?
Okay, that's fair. Let's do it.
All right, let's go with that. All right.
All right, so they lose. Why? Lynch is suspended. They're on a 6-game losing skid. They won't kick a score, and Geelong rarely lose at Cardinia Park. So there's that. All right, Andrew, I'm excited to talk about this one with you. Brisbane versus Port Adelaide on Saturday the 5th at the Gabba, 7:30 p.m. So the Lions had a bye, and the Power humiliated your boys, the Blues, by 50 points. They got the jump on them early. They dominated the midfield. Georgiades kicked 5. He's on a roll here. And Radikalia got his groove back. I mean, he's been playing really well the last few weeks, right? Mm-hmm. So was Miles Bergman just underrated going into 2025? Or did he somehow get some superhero powers? Or was it that... what's his name left? Houston left to go to Collingwood?
I was going to say that. I think Houston leaving let him step up because Houston was the main man in defence there.
Yeah.
And Miles Bergman was always 2 or 3 and, so he stepped up to take that Houston role. Yeah. And I think he's shown that he's a good footballer, and now he's moving to the midfield. He's fantastic.
They were having a little fight over him or something. At least that was like the talk on the interwebs is that he signed. I think he re-signed with Port.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah. I could swear I saw that. If I'm wrong, please let me know.
Jeez. I don't know, but I know St Kilda were interested, and I know a couple of other teams were interested in him.
Like I said, I could be wrong, but I almost think I saw this yesterday on Instagram that he actually re-signed with Port.
Possibly.
Now, can Port translate their form against the Blues into more wins for the rest of the season? Because the next 6 of their 8 games are against... Sorry, 6 of their last 8 games are against teams in the top 8. Can they win any of these games?
No.
No
chance.
No chance.
No, they played against Witches Hats last week. Come on.
Okay. So that's it. So that is just that it's more a reflection on how poor the
opposition was. Yes, okay. We won't name who they were, but
we need a symbol now for them.
like Prince.
Yeah, we're gonna go Prince style. All right. So who loses and why?
Oh, Port Adelaide lose for the reasons I just said. They're just Brisbane too good at the Gabba.
All right. Well, after the full bye, the Lions. After the full bye, what does that mean? After the Lions bye, another catnap. I don't even have to explain this to anyone. They're gonna win, and Port's gonna lose. There's another one for you.
You're going first in the next one. I'm telling you. I don't even know what the game is, but you're going first. Okay.
St Kilda versus your mates versus the Hawks at Marvel 7:40. So the Saints coughed up a late lead and lost to Freo by 12 points. They were looking red hot against Freo. I know you weren't watching that game, but it looked like there was going to be an upset for sure until the end.
I did say the last quarter.
You did. That's where it all the wheels came off.
That was the money quarter. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Well, not really, because they kicked the first goal, St Kilda, and I thought, ooh, hello.
Yeah, but
this is nice. I won't need to eat the 100 nuggets, but
Fremantle kind of got it together, I think, in the end, because the pressure was red hot. It was a really good game. I know you don't like low scoring games, but it was pretty exciting. And then the Hawks belted North by 85 points in Tasmania. So the Hawks are plus 43 in forward half intercepts over the last month. Does Ross Lyon release Waganin Miller to shift that territory battle?
He has to release something, because I'll tell you, that guy, Waganin Miller, he tries everything he can to go forward, but there's no one following him. Like, he's the only one that seems to be sort of straight ahead.
Yeah.
And Sinclair to a small degree, but, you said in your intro there that the Saints were red hot. They ended up kicking 9 goals for the game. If that's red hot, St Kilda and Ross Lyon, my God.
Yeah, but it worked. I mean, it worked. It was like the two, those are the biggest defensive teams in the comp, right?
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, but...
As you can imagine.
So what adjustments to style do you see the Hawks having to make based on the Saints' performance against Freo?
No, none.
None?
Hawthorn just need to play their game, their attacking game. Don't fall into the St Kilda trap. And they won't. I don't think they will.
So do you think the Saints can make it a low-scoring affair, or are you saying that's not going to happen?
No, I don't think Hawthorn allow you to, if that makes sense. St Kilda will try, but again, scoreboard pressure and the scoreboard in general, if the other team's kicking goals, you've got to try and kick goals. So I think the Hawks will get off to a nice start, and St Kilda will be following all day and trying to catch up, and they just won't.
Okay. So you want me to go first on this one?
Cindye, come on.
Who loses and why?
Play St Kilda will get smashed, all right?
The Saints are going to lose. I mean, yeah, they're going to lose.
Of course they're going to lose to my Hawks.
I have Hawks forward efficiency and intercept game should cash in on the Saints side that wins the ball, but that cannot put it on the scoreboard, which is basically what you just said, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, this might be the one. This might be the one. This might be the game.
Okay, you're going first then.
This might be our game of the round.
Okay. So this is the only one that counts in round 17.
Okay.
By the sounds of things.
Sydney against Fremantle on Sunday, July 6th at the SCG at 1:10 in the afternoon. So the Swans narrowly lost to the Dogs, and the Dockers edged out the Saints by 12 points. McCartan is expected back. I think that's the only injury situation of note. Although I did hear that Nat Fife now is out again with a hamstring. Is his career over? Do we see him again? Oh, I'm sorry, a calf, not a hamstring, a calf.
His career was over 2 years ago.
Be nice, Andy.
No, I won't be nice. I don't know what's going on at Fremantle playing this donkey.
He's not a donkey.
So he got injured, supposedly, or not injured, but he was sore before the game, right?
Apparently, allegedly, yeah.
Yeah, right. So Fremantle had to make a sub.
Yeah.
And he can't play. They play with one less. Good chance of losing that game the way it was going. So
yeah.
Seriously, Justin Longmuir, mate, just call it this week. Enough. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks to see whether
he'll play, won't he? Even if he's injured, he'll be the sub, right? It's just what they do.
Well, no, I mean, look, if he can't, if he's not right going into the end of the year, maybe they'll give him like a farewell game. I don't know. Maybe.
No problem. They should have done that already. But anyway.
Fremantle loved flooding numbers back against St. Kilda. Does that blanket still work on the smaller SCG, or will Sydney pick their way through?
Sydney are able to pick their way through the SCG because they know it so well.
Yeah.
So they know little pockets of space and they create space.
Yeah.
So good luck doing that, Fremantle.
So I heard a lot of complaining about the SCG, and I was curious because they had Botticelli, opera singer.
Yeah, that was months ago though.
Bocelli?
Yeah.
How do you say his name?
Andrea Bocelli.
Andrea, that's it.
Yep.
So don't you guys have that like funny shaped building that has like...
The Opera House.
The Opera House? What happened?
Yeah, but they seats like 2,000 people, 3,000. So it's not.
I see. Okay. I actually read it. I read about it. It said something like they've had like an unusual amount of rain. So the grass has not been able to merge itself back into, So there's a whole thing. Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. Yeah.
Just get the aliens down to fix the grass.
I'm not saying they should have done it in the first place and had the concert there. But I'm saying that I think the expectation was that the grass would have grown back together and been a solid playing field.
Okay, so when it didn't, fix it.
Yeah.
Change the grass.
They can't. I don't think they can. I don't think they can.
Can't dig it up and change it. Of course they can.
I think they'll have more. They'll have like similar problems. I don't know. They have to call in the big guns from like the Premier League, the soccer teams and stuff.
Call them in then. Call them in. It's a professional sport.
The big guns.
Good luck if someone gets injured there. A bad injury this week. Good luck.
Yeah. Well, all right. So Sydney blew the win. I think. I think, right?
Yeah,
I think they blew the win.
Maybe.
And I think Freo stole one. Okay, that's my assessment of last week.
That's fair. That's a fair comment.
Okay. So who do you think is going to be sharper this week based on the last round?
Sydney Swans. They were pretty sharp last week.
Yeah.
And there's one guy. What's his name? I think he wears number 5 for Sydney.
Heaney.
Heaney.
Isaac, as your people say.
Right. Isaac, 5 goals.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's funny when he plays well what happens with Sydney. But anyway.
Here he goes again. Well, I also know that Goulden hasn't missed a step since he got back. He's been playing like he's been there the whole time, right?
He's been great. Great. But if Isaac doesn't show up, they can't win games. It's as simple as that.
Wow. I think the laid out of McCartan hurt them too. Not having him in the back. A little bit. So, all right, Andrew. So do you want me to go first on this one?
Yes, please.
Who loses and why? Fremantle Dockers are losing this one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm going for it. This is my last week tipping. This is my last week tipping Sydney before they get locked up again. Yeah. So I mean, part of me is just going on the Andy logic of like, I don't know. I just feel like they're gonna win. So I just have this feeling.
Oh, is that how you tip? You go on my logic?
I think so.
Okay,
I think
gotcha.
this week that is the way to go. I mean, look, honestly, it could go either way. I think it could be a really good game. But the Swans almost won and Freo almost lost. And it's the third week since Papley and Goulden has been back. So maybe like they're getting their mojo back a little bit, their form back.
Yeah. Yep.
And if McCartan's back, I think they
Makes
can
a
get it
difference,
done.
yep.
So,
Okay.
although last year Fremantle beat the Swans by 1 point.
They
with
did.
ACG.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Yeah. So who loses and why, Andrew?
Fremantle lose Sydney.
Oh my
called you
God,
Sydney
Ricky's
then.
going to fall off his chair.
Well, it is what it is. Fremantle have won 2 of their last 3 games. They've won, luckily, I thought, right?
Yeah, okay.
And they've won 6 in a row. Enough's enough. They lose
Wait, who
to
did
Sydney.
they play? Who did they play round 15? I can't remember now. It was North.
Yes, it was North. Yes,
It was North. Ah,
Right,
North.
so they've been pretty ordinary the last few weeks. They've been winning, which that's all you can do. But they're, 6 in a row. They're not good enough to win 7 in a row. They're not that team. And Sydney, I think, with their players back and playing at home, and they've been okay the last couple of weeks. I think Fremantle lose this one.
Adelaide versus Melbourne on Sunday.
Crows.
Your Crows at the Adelaide Oval, 2:45. Crows once again obliterated the Richmond Tigers, and the Demons had a late rally, but they could not get over the line. They lost by 19 points. So the Crows are plus 20 for ground ball gets this season. Can Demons' big bodies slow the chaos, or do they embrace it and try to win shootouts?
They should embrace it and try to win shootouts because
Okay.
they have a player called Keziah Pickett who is one of the most
good,
exciting players playing, right?
Yep.
Play to his strengths. Play the way he plays, right?
Right.
I feel like Melbourne play a different style, and then he goes, oh, hang on, when I get the ball, we're doing this. Every time he gets the ball, something happens. So if Melbourne played with that mindset, things might change, and I can't wait to see Isaac Rankin and Keziah Pickett go head-to-head. 2 of my favourite players in the AFL.
Forgive me, but was Rankin... Did he perform better this past week? Because he's been a little off, and I don't actually know
he was
his
pretty
stats.
good. He was good. He wasn't, but again, he probably didn't need to be sensational, against Richmond. So yeah, he was good. He did some freaky things. He set up some goals. He does what Rankin does when he plays well. But I think with Cozzy getting that big contract and Rankin playing at home, I think he's going to set it alight this week. I can't wait. I'm excited actually.
Are you? Okay. Well, so Melbourne surprised us the last time they played at the Adelaide Oval when they beat Port. It was just a few weeks ago, right?
It was.
You were like, Melbourne's
when
back.
I said they were back,
yeah, right?
How wrong was I for once in my life?
So can they do it again? I mean,
I don't think so.
You don't
Not
think
against
so?
Adelaide. Not against Adelaide. Adelaide's a different proposition than Port. They're very good, Adelaide. They're very, very good.
if Melbourne dropped this one, does the conversation shift from fix the goal kicking to time for a new voice, or is beating a flag caliber Adelaide side a sort of circuit breaker that settles things down?
I'm a big believer in wallpapering over cracks.
Okay.
And I think this is one of the games where if Melbourne do win it, what's it for? Like, it's one game. It's like, they've been pretty average for the last 3 years since they won that premiership almost.
Right.
They haven't won a final in 2 years.
Yeah.
They're not playing finals this year. I mean, they continue to drop. So, I think the conversation starts with Simon Goodwin if they lose this one and lose it badly.
Okay.
If it hasn't already started,
Yeah, well, I mean, people have been calling for his head like they've been calling for Voss's head for a long time now. So, by the way, talk to me about Clayton Oliver and his, full face, mask.
Well, you didn't hear?
What?
He's on an oxygen. He's got an oxygen tank with him all week. He couldn't breathe.
Oh,
did you see his nose? His nose was taped. He's like, how's he meant to breathe, this guy?
I mean, that's one of the most insane things I think. Seriously, what the hell?
Okay.
I mean, I didn't see what happened to cause that. What happened?
Oh, he just, I think he hit heads with Took Miller. It was just a bit of a sort of a scrape almost. But
was Tukey
up
okay?
There, he was fine.
Tukey was okay.
Yeah, don't worry about Tukey. He's fine. But yeah, it was, like that's a pretty sensitive part.
Yeah.
And once it cuts open, it bleeds pretty easily. But like I remember, if I'm not mistaken, a few years back, and I mean within 3 or 4 years, they had this like hairnet thing that players would wear to stop the bleeding. It was not a hairnet, but like it was like a, not quite a helmet, but it was like a white thing, and they'd tape that, and that would stop the bleeding, right? So I don't know why they've gone back to this 1980s, tape around everywhere. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
It's so unsettling.
It's primitive, isn't it?
Like even like when they just have the one wrap, it makes me think of like images like you'd see of like the war, the wars, like the Revolutionary War. You know,
I was going to say the gladiators,
the bandages around their head, they're walking, they're beating the drums or whatever. But like that, it was so unsettling.
It was bad, wasn't it?
Oh God! Well, he gets an A for effort, okay?
Because
that's some crazy shit to have to play for.
It is. So it's bad.
All right, who loses and why?
Oh, come on! Do you think I'm going to tip against my Crows? Melbourne lose. Come on.
I tend to agree with you. I think they're going to lose.
This is an exciting episode. We agree on everything.
I know.
Let's start again.
I'm sure there's a couple people out there that disagree, but who disagrees on which games? I want to know which one we have.
Let us know.
Let us know which one we have totally wrong. Okay, on all these shared.
And we can call a psychologist and get you some help if you disagree with.
I want to know who you think loses and why. And if you disagree with us, You're wrong. Oh my God.
And there better be good bloody reasons because you're wrong.
All right. So Andrew,
yes,
just to finish up this lovely conversation, I have a question for you.
Oh.
If you get to have one of the following players to come to Carlton, okay, you can choose one of these players, okay? No questions asked. They're just tomorrow they're on Carlton.
I'll just say the name. I'm not even going to say
who are you choosing? A, Sam Darcy. B, Wanganeen Milera. Or C, Isaac Rankin.
Oh, you had to throw that one in, didn't you? I thought it was easy up until that bit.
Who are you taking?
Sam Darcy.
Sam Darcy. Okay, now, who are you giving up? Jacob Wiedering? Are you giving up TDK? Or are you giving up Zach Williams? I'm just kidding.
Yes, he can go. He's number one.
Are you giving up Charlie Curnow?
Charlie Curnow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That actually makes sense, right?
Well, one's 21, one's 27 and doesn't do anything. So
one can kick goals and one isn't kicking
Exactly.
goals.
And one's going to kick goals for 10 years. So, yeah.
All right, guys. I want to know who you're taking and who you're giving up on Carlton. Let me know.
If you say anyone other than Sam Darcy, you're wrong.
I'm surprised you're not taking your boy Isaac. What the hell?
Isaac's my favourite player.
Where's the love, right?
No, well, hang on. You're saying at that club that I support.
Yeah.
Yes, he'd be lovely to have, but clearly we need a goal kicker because we don't have one. So.
All right. You heard it here. Well, thank you all for joining us for round 17 tips of who loses and why. As always, I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope your team wins. We'll see you next time.